Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery here. We get together most weekday mornings to support our distribution partners, and excited to visit with you today. Today, we're rolling out the Debt Buyers Club, and you'll see that here on the shared screen. You can go directly to debtbuyersclub.com if you'd like to access it. This is an additional resource. So in addition to these daily Zoom training calls, we're going to resume having in-person trainings. We used to do in-person trainings on a regular basis back before the pandemic. We've had a few over the past year or two. I guess the last event we had was 2 or 3 weeks ago, but now we're going to start having them on a regular basis and actually hosting them around the country. So let's talk a little bit about what the Debt Buyers Club is, why you might want to get this training, which is free, of course. So as the page states, and I can scroll up. So we're on Business Paralegal Debt Buyers Club, but also we own the domain debtbuyersclub.com, which is forwarded right here. So what you and I know, but maybe not everyone knows, is that debt buying is a hyper-lucrative profession offering greater income potential than real estate or cryptocurrency with less risk and more liquidity. Historically, debt buying has really revolved around the wealthy buying and selling defaulted mortgages, defaulted auto loans, and defaulted credit card debts. We are somewhat pioneers in bringing this concept out to Main Street off of Wall Street. So what you may know, and not everyone does, is that debt is typically purchased for just pennies on the dollar, which offers an unbeatable return on investment. Think about that for a moment. So if you bought a portfolio of debt for 10 cents on the dollar, and you could reasonably sell it for 20 cents on the dollar, that's doubling your money in a simple transaction. If we didn't want to resell it, we could collect it, and we'll talk about ways to liquidate the debt in just a moment. But now you could be getting 30, 40, 50 cents on the dollar, even more. And I just don't know that realistically you can go into the real estate market, the stock market, and cryptocurrency and look to double, triple, quadruple your money with less risk and such liquidity. Now, once debt is purchased, it can be liquidated in several ways. And these 4 bullets is what we'll dig into more in the in-person training. I want to give you just a quick overview. So it's important to understand that this is an asset. So as a debt buyer, once you've purchased a portfolio, it's a real debt. And so it's money that's now owed to you. And typically a portfolio is a $100,000 portfolio. So this isn't some black box that sits in the corner that has no use. This is an income producing asset. Now people owe you over $100,000, and that amount grows literally every day. So what do you do to move from AR to cash flow? Because it's no different than if you and I went and started a lawn service, right? We might sign some lawn service contracts, but those contracts we need to convert into cash in hand. So there are 4 main ways to go about liquidating. The first of which are collections. And I'm the first to realize that many of us don't want to play the role of debt collector. But the point is, collections can be done either in-house or through third parties that will do that at no charge to you. They're paid from the debtor. So that's the first of 4 ways that debt can be liquidated, and we'll dig into that more in the in-person training. The second option is litigation. So where collections efforts typically will invoice the debtor and report them to the credit bureaus if they don't pay. Litigation, and so these two could run together, but litigation is technically a separate strategy because it's just simply where there's a lawsuit filed. And there are law firms that will file those suits on your behalf. There's an ad. If you get the Wall Street Journal from yesterday, there's an ad literally where law firms are promoting themselves to work for you to help you litigate these debts. Of course, it could be resold. So buy low, sell high, right? So when we're selling portfolios, we sell them at wholesale price, 10 cents on the dollar. Normally, our debt buyers resell them for 20 cents on the dollar. Thus, they double their money. So reselling is the third of those options. And then the fourth is the most complicated, but it draws a lot of interest. And it's a concept called flipping. It's a little bit complicated for here. We'll dig into it in the in-person training. But there are sources of capital that are solely based upon receivables financing. And so literally debt portfolios can be bought, repositioned, flipped, and then used as collateral for receivables financing. So with the training that we're rolling out, it's now available. It's a free one-day training, and we offer a certification because we've had great success in selling portfolios. We've sold millions of dollars of portfolios in the past 45 days, which is great. We have provided and will continue to provide phone support. But what I realize is that we need to provide a more in-depth, comprehensive training that, frankly, I'm old school. I think we can best accomplish by sitting down together. And so we've formed a group or a club that's called the Debt Buyers Club. And so then by coming to the training, which is free, then you get certified and you'll know a bunch of these bullets that we're going to go through in just a moment. Now, again, this isn't just pie in the sky. We've sold lots of portfolios just in the past 45 days. The largest portfolio that we sold to date, we're working on a bigger deal, but that we sold to date was over 3 million, almost 3.5 million. And this wasn't to some schmuck, that didn't know what they were doing. This is to a very large, reputable, sophisticated law firm. Now, the law firm bought it for one specific bullet, right? They want to litigate because they've got attorneys to do that. In some cases, we're just simply selling portfolios to small business owners that are looking to add assets to their balance sheet. So that is a different use. All right, so let's go through the agenda of why you might want to consider spending a day with us. So the first thing that we cover is setting up your debt buying business properly. Secondly, we want to become familiar with key regulatory organizations. Third, we want to learn key terms and concepts, like what does media mean? What is face value? Those terms and concepts that are important to be successful as a debt buyer. We need to understand a very important concept called chain of title, sometimes referred to as COT. We're going to obtain and understand key contractual templates used in debt buying. And so that's important because everything needs to be properly documented. And this kind of fits back into the whole chain of title concept. We need to be able to show movement of who owned that asset before to who owns it now. Just like if you sold a car, right? You don't just take the money cash from them and give them the keys. You need to transfer the title, transfer the ownership. So that's important, and that's done through documentation, which we'll go through. We're going to also recognize best practices in selling and liquidating debt, including the collateral support program. And that's a different page here on our website. The collateral support program is a specific use of these receivables, whereby we position small businesses to add these assets to their balance sheet and improve their credibility on paper immediately. Let's go back to the agenda. And then you'll also have, it's a great networking event. So you'll meet other debt buyers from across the country. When we were doing these trainings live before the pandemic, we've traveled around the country and provided them in different locations. Normally we provide them here in our backyard just outside of Dallas, Fort Worth. And we had people that flew in or drove in or brought the train in from all across the country. We had one young lady that flew in from Hawaii. So this is a big deal. It's the real deal. So as far as logistics of the certification training, the in-person debt buying training, we hold these in one day. So we'll start at 9 a.m. local time, whatever the local time is. If it's in Texas, of course, Central, and go through 4. We'll provide lunch to everyone that's in attendance. This is a free training. So if you've purchased a portfolio, you're one of our debt buyers, you're welcome to come free. Let's say that you've not purchased a portfolio, you just want to come to the training, you're welcome to do so as well. We currently have 2 training sessions on the calendar, but I want to talk to you about many more that's coming up. So the first one that we have coming up is Saturday. We typically do these trainings on Saturdays. They don't have to be on Saturdays, but Saturdays typically work pretty well. People can come in the night before, be rested, have the Saturday training, either fly out afterwards or spend the weekend, and of course, write the trip off as a business expense. So our next coming up training is Saturday, April 30th, and that's in Tyler, Texas, just outside of Dallas, Fort Worth. American Airlines flies directly into Tyler, and of course, pretty much all the airlines fly into Dallas, Fort Worth. And then on May 21st, in the Woodlands, which is a suburb of Houston, Texas, we'll be having a session. So these are the 2 sessions that we're accepting registrations for now, which happens right here on this page below. One of, I think, the most exciting concepts I want to share is now that our nation, our society is opening back up, we are more than happy to bring the training to you. Like Joseph, one of our top referral partners, he's up in Northwest Arkansas. Well, why don't we do this in your backyard, Joseph? Let's hold this in Fayetteville or Bentonville. You've got Jeremy. I believe Jeremy's in Austin, Texas. Great. Let's do a training down in Austin, Jeremy. We have such a talented team from all across the country. We are more than happy to bring the training to you. Let's talk about how that works. So if you're just coming to one of our training sessions, just register here. It's super simple. But if we're going to bring the training on the road, then we would collaborate with you. We want to set up a training session, and we will do a revenue share with you. We'll pay you $2,500 to host that one-day training. Now, for that $2,500, you need to provide the space. We provide the space, of course, when we're booking the events. But if you want us to bring the training to you, then we'll pay you $2,500. You provide the space. We need to have at least 10 people registered to have a training. 10 is kind of the sweet spot. We will rarely register more than 10 for the trainings that we host, because we want this to be a small group type of dynamic, very interactive. I should have put some pictures up of some of the past trainings we had. So small, intimate gatherings, so it's very interactive. It's not a conference room full of 100 people. So if we're going to do a remote training, in other words, a training with you where you're going to host it, we'll pay you the $2,500. It's your responsibility to provide a room, but we do need to have at least 10 people to hold that class. All right, so that is what I wanted to cover. Let's dig into the questions, comments, concerns that any of you have about the new Debt Buyers Club. In summary, it's a way to make money. You can make money by being a professional certified debt buyer. It's I guess somewhat similar to playing the real estate market, the stock market, the cryptocurrency. You're buying and selling, and you're making money off of the spread. In this case, it's a bit more tangible. It's a lot more predictable. It's less risky, and it's more liquid. So it's outstanding. There's a number of different ways to liquidate the debt once it is acquired. And what we know is that often we'll provide the portfolio to small business owners that are needing to strengthen their balance sheet through the collateral support program. And we'll talk more about how to optimize that during the one-day training. So who has questions today on the Debt Buyers Club, what it is, why it's needed, who should attend, how to register, the basics? Is there anything that we're missing? All right, so Joseph's interested in having one up in Arkansas. So Joseph, you're right. On this form, it doesn't say, check here if I want to host a certification training in Bentonville, Arkansas. So of course it's not listed. So you would just put those notes in here, what you're wanting to accomplish, Joseph, and then we'll follow up with you. So again, this is on Business Paralegal Debt Buyers Club, but you can also just literally go to debt, if I can spell it, buyersclub.com, and it's forwarded to here. So we own that domain. So if you are, regardless if you're an affiliate, a referral partner, a white label partner, if you're looking to generate more income, have another arrow in your quiver, you may want to become a professional debt buyer. You can help the clients that you're helping that are accessing capital, but there's an even broader market for this. Debt buying and selling is big business, but it's typically been done by the wealthy, and it's typically been based around mortgage defaults, auto loan defaults, or credit card defaults. We're pioneering bringing this out to Main Street instead of just focusing on Wall Street. Who has any questions, comments, concerns? Yeah, Luke, you're right. So just simply go to Debt Buyers Club. You can review the same information, of course, but if you're interested in either registering for one of our scheduled in-person classes that we have on the books, you'd let us know. Or if you would like us to work with you to set up a training in your backyard, like we're doing with Joseph apparently now in Arkansas, let us know that as well. And then we can facilitate. But just remember, if we're going to bring the training to you, you'll get paid the $2,500, so there's no worries about that, and you'll get to attend for free, of course. So there's another perk, but above and beyond that, it's then your responsibility, Joseph and others. Then you got to provide the room, and then we're looking to you to get at least 10 attendees, because we need a minimum of 10 to host the event. And Charles is asking, it's free. That's right. It's a free training, free lunch. All right, any other questions, comments, concerns? If not, I encourage you to maybe reflect back on the collateral support program. If you're not familiar with it, there's a deep dive video here. And the Debt Buyers Club is the way in which that you can monetize buying and selling debt. We'll take you through a one-day training, get you certified, build your expertise, build your confidence, build your competence in being able to do this. All right, well, there we go. We'll see you back tomorrow morning. Let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.